It is earlier than I thought, but later than I would have liked. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Elisa and this is where I share my knitting. It's been a bit random. My previous video was a recap of the first 3 months of 2026, and I thought the next one would come in the summer as a recap of the following 3 months. But I realized that things were piling up, so yeah, this is what you get. You get an extra video, one that I was not planned for. And I'm not wearing any hand knits today, so apologies for that. Today is a warm day, luckily, because we've had like 2 weeks of crazy wetness, crazy wind. You know, I live in the south of the Netherlands and the weather here is notoriously unpredictable, but it's been even more unpredictable these past couple of weeks. More on that later when I show you my finished jumper. But yes, this morning was sunny, so I decided that I could wear something lighter. I was doubting if I should wear a knitted t-shirt, but I decided against it. With a shirt, then I could layer better. So yes, I didn't want to change out of it, and this is it. That's a bit off topic, right? Okay, back on the knitting. Before we start, I have to announce a pattern release. My latest pattern is a shawl pattern. So I don't release many patterns because that's a lot of work. So you can expect roughly like 2 every year from me. And this is the first one this year. And it's a summer shawlette, as you can see from the lacy fabric. It's very light and airy. I've shown this before in my last video. I've shown it, and now it's available on Ravelry. And I have actually decided to give a free download to every new subscriber to this channel and to every new follower on Instagram. So if you want to receive your download code to download the pattern for free on Ravelry, comment here below or send me a DM on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to share the pattern with you. It is a medium size shawlette that is knitted in Susurro. I yarn my Malabrigo. I have 2 samples here, this lighter one and this in a darker color. They give 2 completely different vibes, I think, but basically they are that little extra layer that you need if you live in a climate that is similar to this one, very unpredictable, always windy, always a little chilly. So this is very light and perfect to put in your bag and pull out when you need it. It can be worn in many different ways. While shooting photos for Instagram, I even put it around my waist. I'll insert a photo of that. I was wearing a little black dress and I put this one around my waist, and I think it looked very good. Okay, so option to have it for free if you subscribe or if you follow me on Instagram. All the links will be below. And onto my finished objects. I have 2 today. One is a pair of socks that I haven't shown previously because I knitted on them while traveling. We visited Japan with my family. We have a longer school holiday in between the end of April and the beginning of May, and I think that it's a 2-week holiday, and that's the perfect time frame to knit a pair of socks, even if you don't really have, well, it's not true because you know, it's a long flight and you have to sleep as well, but you get a lot of knitting time on the plane, and we moved around a lot. This time it's our second time in Japan, so we wanted to go out of the more touristy routes, so there were a lot of trains and even buses, so I got some knitting time then, and I managed to finish the 2 socks in time, and I knitted them in yarn that I bought last year in Japan, so like I closed the cycle somehow. Here they are. They are kind of vanilla socks. They are ribbed vanilla socks. So I didn't use a pattern for these. I just wanted to be able to, yeah, I wanted an easy knit. So I did my usual stitch counts. Not my usual stitch counts. I am lying. I think I did 56 instead. I normally do 64 stitches, but the gauge on this one was a little different from the usual, so I did 56, and it worked out quite well. I mean, they fit perfectly, and I knew that with ribbing, you know, ribbing 2x2 ribbing is naturally very, very elastic, so I reckon I wouldn't have any issues even with a slightly different stitch count. I have done a short row heel, which is the one that I can do without looking at any instructions, and the short rows I used are the yarn over short rows. It is a technique that I learned quite recently. So when I used German short rows, I always got holes along the line here, and that really put me off a little bit. So I have experimented with a heel flap and gasset. I don't particularly like it, the look of it, and also the execution. So the short row heel is really what I prefer. Sorry, my phone was ringing. It shouldn't ring when I'm recording, but I don't know what happened. So I don't know what I was saying. Talking about the heel. The short row heel is my favorite, the look of it as well, and yes, since I discovered yarn over short rows, I don't get any holes, which makes me really, really happy. The yarn is, like I said, a Japanese yarn. It's a cotton blend. I have the same yarn in another color, which is a wool blend. The label is not very specific as to the composition, but yeah, never mind. I like this Missoni type of fabric, and the interplay of the colors. There's also some texture because the neon yarn is a bit curly, almost like a boucle, but very, very thin. So let me show you the bow. Okay, the cone, it wasn't a cone, and the cone didn't even say which length or which weight it was. So I calculated the meterage based on the weight. What you do is measure out, for example, 10 meters of the yarn and put it on the scale, on the kitchen scale, the one that measures grams. So you can like then determine, based on the weight of the full amount, you can determine how long it is. There are tutorials on YouTube if you're interested in learning how to do it better than I can explain. So based on my calculations, it should have been the usual like 100 grams for 100 meters, but in reality I have almost half of it left. Normally I have small feet, but normally I have 1/3 of the skein left over when I knit socks, and this is way more than that. So maybe I calculated wrong, or maybe because I made my socks a little smaller, you know, with a different stitch count. I don't know. Anyway, the yarn is this. It's made up of different strands, and this brand is called Itoriko. it will be down below. And they sort of recycle industrial yarns or something. So last year I really missed my opportunity to visit their store. They have a store in Tokyo. I wanted to go, but in the end I couldn't. So this was bought at another store that sold the brand, and I looked for it again this year, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So I will have to go another time. Okay, so these are Japan socks, and I can't wait to wear them. If I'm honest, I was saving them, so this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, so that now I'll be able to actually wear the socks. Because I mean, you have to know how to draw the line, right? I don't show used socks, so these are unblocked but unused as well. All right, second finished object is a sweater. I honestly tried to put this on above my shirt to be able to show you, but it's really too hot. I'm also filming on the third floor of the house, like the attic, and this floor gets really, really warm. Even if outside it's not that warm, I have a big window and the sun is here almost all day, so it really gets warm, which is a good thing in winter, but not in summertime. And this is this one. You've seen it in different phases. It's a self-drafted raglan sweater that I knitted from Cool Wool by Lana Grossa in 3 colors. So I had this gray one, quite a lot of it, the dark gray, but I knew that it wouldn't be enough for a full garment. And so I decided to try and recycle some leftovers. This is a yarn that I have used for many, many things, because my local yarn shop that now sadly has closed was a one brand store, only sold Lana Grossa, and Cool Wool is actually a very versatile yarn that you can use for literally everything. So I have oddballs that were in the sale sometimes. I have leftovers from a frogged sweater that I didn't use anymore. A lot of things. So in reality, trying to combine all these colors with the charcoal gray, the only thing that I could really recycle is the pink. And you can see it. This is also unblocked. I was telling you before, we had very wet weather and cold, so I didn't want to really soak this thick heavy jumper. I will do it at the weekend. The weekend's supposed to be very warm, so I will do it then. But you can see that the pink is a bit more wonky than the rest. This is actually not a yarn that actually needs blocking per se. I think it's a superwash yarn anyway, so it doesn't react to blocking in the way other yarns do, but I know from previous experience that it will get better. Like this bit here is very, very wonky, but it will get better. And I had another gray, a light gray, but it was very flat, dull gray, kind of like this one. So I didn't want to put it in, so I bought 3 balls of this other more metallic gray, and I think I really like it in the end. And yeah, I've used up the pink, so part of my goal has been achieved. And this gray can also be used, in any other way, with, for a hat, for mittens, whatever. So what did I do with this one? I will put in, like, of course, footage of me wearing it. I think the fit turned out to be really, really, really good. And with raglan, I usually don't go wrong, even with self-drafted things, because I think it's the shape of my shoulders, the shape of my body. It just sits so well on me and so comfortably on me. So I'm lucky in that way, because I know that when I want to go for something simple and fail-proof, I can always knit a raglan. And I wanted to to knit this a tiny bit more oversized than my usual. I tend to knit my sweaters quite fitted, and I am now experimenting with slightly more oversized shapes, and that's something that I like about this one. It's going to be the perfect working from home or do your shopping kind of sweater, but it has some pretty details anyway. So I wanted to do something with the neck, and I ended up only doing this row of purling when I picked up the stitches for the neckline. I wanted to do one of those thick sausage-like double knitted, how do you call it? Yeah, seams. It's not a seam, but you know, in commercial sweaters you see it very often, and you can do it with end knitted sweaters. But I'm not sure if I got the needle size wrong, or if this is not the right yarn. What I think is that I should have gone down more significantly with, you know, in terms of the needle size, but you know, I tried a couple of times and then I lost my patience. So I just decided to do the purl round, and I think it looks okay. It really looks okay. I have recently learned to do a tubular bind off for 2x2 ribbing, and again, it's unblocked, but it looks, I think it looks pretty good. Let me see if I can show it better. And it is a sewn bind off, and you don't have to rearrange the stitches, because the way I did it before was rearranging the stitches, so the 2x2 stitches, they got like switched like this. But the way I did it, or maybe it's like that for everybody, but it was quite visible, and I didn't always like it, so I tended to avoid 2x2 ribbing. But yeah, now I learned it, so you can learn everything if you put your mind to it. So yeah, the ribbing is unblocked, so I hope to expand it a little bit, but honestly, the bottom rib, even if it stays like that, it's fine. The sleeves, I think I should have used maybe a bigger needle. I think I used 375 for the main fabric. I think I used 3 for the cuffs, and then realizing it was cinching in too much, I used 325 for the other ribbings. So I hope that it can relax a little bit with blocking, but even if it doesn't, it's still okay. I still like it. The last thing I want to show you is the jogless stripes here at the back that are not always very jogless, but I think after blocking they will look better. So it worked better with the taller stripes. No, not even that. But yeah, no, it's not very jogless. I tried a new technique. So what I used to do in the past was pick up the stitch below, bring it up on the needle and knit it. What I did this time was simply slip the stitch on the second color change row. You slip the first stitch in the row, and I think this is, even if it's not perfect, I think this looks better for me than the other one. The other one didn't work at all. But yeah, something to practice, right? But it's okay, I don't mind. So what I should have done is put the color change here at the back, so it's less visible than in the middle of the back. But you know, those are those things that you think about too late. I'm editing here to show you what I did with the cuffs. I put a glass jar inside to make sure that I got the size I wanted, so I measured the jar and slid it in when the sweater was wet. And I'm happy to report that width-wise, it's perfect. It's just what I wanted. Unfortunately, the sleeves have lengthened significantly, something that I absolutely did not expect, because from previous experience with this yarn, it never ever happened. So I will see what I need to do with these sleeves, but I think I will think about it in the autumn when it's time to wear the sweater. Okay, and so we're on to works in progress. While preparing this video and putting ideas together, I was going to tell you that I am very proud of myself for limiting the amount of whips. That was one of my, how do you call them? How do you call them? Goals for New Year's resolutions, yes. One of my New Year's resolutions for 2026 to limit the amount of whips. And I thought I was doing it, honestly. I was like, how good am I? You know, I'm not just randomly casting on because I have stuff to finish. And then I counted them and I still have 5, which is not a crazy amount, but I thought I had less than that. I don't know why. And they're all there in my basket. So I don't know why I was thinking they were less than that, but they are 5. So I have 2 that at the moment that I don't want to show today. One is a pair of socks. I have finished one sock, but I will talk about it once both are finished. And the other one is a t-shirt that you've seen before. It's called I Follow Rivers by Regina Mosmer. My version of it, because I modified it heavily, but again, I've only knitted down the body, so it hasn't basically changed since when I last showed it. So hopefully in the next video it will be finished and we'll talk about it then. This one was, I think, this big when I showed it, so it was only the gray top part with the neck and the short rows. It is called Heimathafen and it's a pattern by Isabell Kraemer, and it's the first pattern by Isabell Kraemer that I have ever knit, believe it or not. And it's a combined yoke construction. So the top part has the top part is round, so you increase regularly around the circumference, and then here down here you have some raglan increases that now are not very visible, but I will maybe put in detailed images. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about, so you don't really need to know. The main reason why I am making this is that yeah, we're working on it in a private knit along with some people I know, and they are almost finished, all of them. So I'm way behind them, but it's okay because they've been able to provide useful advice on certain things. So this has been blocked yesterday. This one I managed to block because it's smaller, so I thought, and it's also a very much lighter fabric than the other sweater. And I've chosen this yarn basically because the gauge was almost right. I'm knitting it a bit off gauge, but I chose the bigger size, so I should be fine. And it fits okay now that it's blocked, and I tried it on. It fits okay. But I so wanted to use this gray yarn. I'm on a mission this year, 2026, to clear out my yarn cabinets of things that have been lingering there for a long time, and I don't want to see them there anymore. So that's what I'm doing with this one. The gray yarn is by Geilsk. Everything will be below. It's a cotton and wool blend, and it is it's not rustic, not in the way that we usually think of rustic yarn. It's not sheepy or anything. It's just stiff and dull and not very nice. So I don't even know why I have it, and I have so much of it. So I so wanted to use it up. It's not the color in itself, you know, I wear a lot of gray. It's a gray neutral. It's just the yarn itself and the feel in your hands. So it gets a bit better with blocking, but it's still not ideal. So I wanted to combine it with something else. And I tried combining it with a mohair in the past, but it looks so coarse that it didn't look right together with the mohair. And so I thought it has to be stripes. But then gray stripes, I was like, I was not sure. So this one is a stripy sweater, but the stripes are a little different. So I thought this was my opportunity, basically, to use it. At least some of it, because I think I will still have some left over. I have a ton of it. And the purple is Pascuali Pinta. Yes, Pinta, which is technically a sock yarn, but it doesn't contain any synthetic fibers. So, so I thought it would be, you know, good to use it in a garment as well. And it's a fantastic aubergine color. But because it's a lighter fabric and, you know, the composition is a little more summery, it's spring-like, it's again one of those type of garments that I'll be able to wear in the summer here as well. So in the evening or in the morning or on those colder days, I think I'll be able to wear it. And it's a bit less dense than I normally knit my sweaters. So I intend it as a more summery light thing. And I thought that inserting a yellow line would make it more fun, simply. So that's going to be the only yellow line that I have in it. Maybe I will consider putting one at the cuff. I don't know yet. The yellow is also a sock yarn that only contains natural fibers, because I've been looking into that, but I didn't like it as a sock yarn because I don't know, it didn't feel right. It felt too again, too stiff. It's a little thicker than your normal sock yarn. So yeah, I attempted to make socks with it and I frogged them. So I still kept it because I never throw away yarn. You always find a use for it. And it's a little thinner than the other two. So now that I've blocked it, I think I see that the fabric is a bit more gapey, but I think it will be fine when worn. And I have 2 pairs of yellow trousers and bottoms for the summer, so this will be a great match for them. So looking forward to have it finished. It goes quite quick, I would say, because it's not like the stripy rhythm that you want to just knit another stripe, because the gray parts are quite long to knit. But yeah, it's all stockinette in the round, really. So you only have like a couple of rounds here and there where you have to do this dip the stitches, but it's really mostly stockinette in the round, so it goes rather quick. Okay, whip number 1. Whip number 2 is another pair of socks, and they are called Cougar Ridge, which is kind of a weird name, is it? I don't know. It is apparently by Lori Wagner, and it's in this book, the 52 weeks of socks number 2. I cannot show you this page because it contains the charts. So this is the finished thing, and this is how mine is looking like. There you go. I am knitting the smallest size because, like I said, I have small feet. It has this very pretty detail on the sides, and this very enjoyable moss stitch pattern. Of course, it will greatly benefit from blocking, but it's really a fun pattern to knit. It's engaging as lace is, but it is also quite easy. The yarn is this one. It's a new to me yarn, Hawthorne fingering weight. So it is a little heavier than your normal sock yarn. It's 357 yards per 100 grams. And it's been given to me by a friend, and we're also knitting the same socks in this yarn. Ciao Vanina, she watches these videos, so she will find herself in it. It's machine washable, and it's 80% superwash fine Highland wool and 20% polyamide, made in Peru. Yes, it's also a fantastic color. Which color is it? It doesn't say. There's a number. It says lot 480153, which is not meaningful, but okay. It's a very nice variegated yarn with some brown, some purple, some blue, some lilac. So it's really, yeah, really one of my favorite combinations. So I'm very grateful that she gave it to me. Okay, and whip number 3 is a summer cardigan. It's called Lino Cardi, or I think Lino Cardi maybe. I think the original version is knitted in a linen yarn. Is that even true? Let me check. Yes, the original version has a linen yarn, and lino is of course the Italian word for linen. Mine is knitted in cotton. It's a cotton by Sesia, which is again an Italian brand. I have bought this cotton at the fabric store last year, and it's been there a whole year waiting for this moment and for this pattern specifically. This is the ball, and this is the fabric it produces. It doesn't have a color name because this one was in one of those bags that you buy for a very reduced price. So I think I paid around 20 euros for the 10 balls, something like that. And I don't think it's a color that went into production. So it's probably one of those things that they try out and then they don't produce. I don't know. I know that this type of cotton, which is called windsurf, has the same kind of look. So it's a very shiny cotton, but they only have solid colors, not this variegated one. So I'm hoping that this is a unique piece. And it has one of my favorite constructions because it starts with the back neck here. This is the back of the neck, and then you pick up the stitches along it to work the back first. And then once the back is complete, I will pick up the the stitches alongside the shoulders. The pattern instructs to cast on these stitches provisionally, and then so you then have the shoulder stitches and these stitches here. These are also light stitches, and from here you can knit the front and the button band at the same time, which is something I really like, because once your garment is finished, it's finished. You don't have to add anything else, considering that the sleeve cuffs, they are not cuffs here, but the finishing, the sleeves are also knitted at the same time as the rest. So this is a perfect pattern for lazy knitters like me. And the interesting thing, and the reason why I picked this pattern in particular, is that the shaping, of course this is the back, but the front is shaped in the same way. The shaping is done with these lines of decreases here that bring down and round the shoulder in this direction. It's very difficult to show also because it curls up so much, but yes, I will be able to show it when it's more advanced. I'm really happy with it. Now I'm going to have to knit a stockinette for a while, so not very interesting, but the yarn itself makes it interesting when it's so variegated. I really like to knit with these kind of variegated yarns, and I'm very, very happy with the fabric. I'm really happy with the fabric. It has this muted yellow here that will also go with the same bottoms that I'm going to wear with that one as well, and the white and the brown. The only thing that I'm not so sure about is the decreases on one side. I think I said increases before. They are obviously decreases. On one side they look very visible. I don't know why. So when I knit the fronts, I will have to look into it a little bit more. Okay, so these are my 3 active whips. Maybe that's why I think that I have less than 5, because the more active ones are 3 actually. So I would like to end the video showing you some acquisitions. I haven't done acquisitions in my most recent videos, but this time, because it's things I bought in Japan, I think it's worth showing them. I had this one shop on my list that I wanted to visit last year as well when I was there, but then it didn't work out because, yeah, you know, you only spend this many days in a place when you're traveling around the country, and we were there on the wrong days, or I think because they had this shop had some weird opening times, so I ended up not going. But this time I told my family, you know, we have to go because they sell their own yarn that they produce. So yeah, I just wanted to go, and I will link the website below, but it's all in Japanese. So unless you can always translate the website, but it's sometimes difficult to really understand, and there has been a little I had a little accident because Google Translate is unreliable, and the person in the shop didn't speak. I'm not sure if he didn't speak very good English or if she was very shy. You know, we didn't understand each other, or I didn't ask the right questions. I don't know. So there's been a little mishap with this particular yarn. So this is the name of the shop, Theoria, and this is a tweedy yarn that looks darker on camera than it is. It is a brownish reddish color with some lighter specks and some black specks in it, and it's a bit of an unusual color for me, but I think I am more and more drawn towards the reds. I don't know why. Not red. You see a lot of red now, like fire truck red, and that I don't like. But these red-based colors somehow appeal to me. I don't know. Oh, the label has this very cute sheep. Anyway, yeah, a tweedy yarn. It contains wool and alpaca, so it's also very soft. Sometimes tweedy yarns are very sheepy, like I said before, very rustic. This is rustic and soft at the same time. So I liked it when I saw it on the shelf, and when I pulled it down and touched it, I fell in love. I thought it was a unique opportunity to have a tweedy yarn and a rustic yarn that wasn't too scratchy or too itchy. So I wanted to buy it. But now I'll try to make this very clear. So you see, I hope you can see that there's 2 prices here. In yen, right? Here, there's 2 prices. So in Japan, prices are always with and without taxes. So I thought that that must be what it was. But looking at the amounts now, it doesn't make sense, because that's not the right percentage. You know, that, yeah, it's not the right percentage. And it also says 100 grams for 412 meters and these many yens. But above it, it says 70 grams. So the second price, which is a lower price, is the price for 70 grams, because this is a 70-gram skein. So I asked the lady which one was the price, and she pointed me to the price, but she didn't explain, because she probably took it for granted that I could read numbers, which apparently I cannot read. And I tried to translate the label, but I focused on the composition, you know, I didn't focus on the right things. So I ended up buying these 3 skeins, thinking that I was buying 3 100-meter skeins. 3 by 412 meters equals 1200 meters, which is more than enough to knit a sweater for me, like more than enough. Except these 3 are like 80, 80, and 70 grams. So the total amount I have is 964 meters, which is significantly less than I thought. So I will have to think what I want to make with this beautiful yarn. And actually, a pattern has come out lately that I have my eyes on. It's the new pattern by Teti Luzak. I don't remember what it's called now, but it's a sleeveless vest. It's a vest with a deep V-neck, and I think it would be perfect for this tweedy yarn. And if that proves true, it means that Teti Luzak really saved the day for me, because I don't think I could have gotten a sweater out of these 3. And yeah, I can only blame myself, right? But I also blame the language barrier a little bit. But okay, in the same shop, I bought something else that sits in this pink bag. And it is same brand, obviously. Also an alpaca and wool blend, and it's kind of a blown yarn where the core is colored and the fluff is white. And the core is also kind of curly. So I thought, I don't think I've ever seen this type of yarn with like this kind of a boucle effect even, but not effectively a boucle. So I bought 2 colors. Yeah, one is blue and one is brownish, light brown. And I think I will make a scarf out of this. I think I will make one of those tube scarves, you know, where you use a bigger needle than the yarn would require, and you knit in the round, but you get 2 layers of fabric, so you get a nice and warm scarf anyway. That's my thought at the moment. I only bought 4 balls in total of this one, because I didn't have too much space in my luggage, so yeah. I don't want to overload the rest of the family with my purchases. They also did a lot of shopping in other other types of things. So yes, I didn't want to have too much to carry, but I really wanted the yarn. Okay, I visited another yarn shop where I ended up not buying anything. It was online. I found it as the one of the biggest and best shops in Osaka. But I wasn't inspired. I couldn't find anything special there. And the good thing in Japan is that there's this ginormous craft stores. So if it's not a specific yarn shop, you can still find yarn in those ones. So I went to another one of those called ABC in Osaka still. And I bought 2 things. I bought this cotton ribbon by Atelier KSK. Yeah, it's all of these that I bought is Japanese, and it's stuff that I've never seen in Europe, brands that I've never seen in Europe. That's why I bought it. So the plan with these 2 balls is to make a bag. It's 100% cotton, and it's 40 grams each, 140 meters. So one thing that I have learned, and that I should have remembered from last year, is that yarn balls are not 50 grams or 100 grams or maybe 200 grams sometimes, like here. They can have these weird yarn weights, so you always have to check. And the other thing is that there's a lot more cotton and silk in Japan stores than we have here. So that's also a good thing to know, that if you go there, you might focus on that, because they really have a great choice of cotton and cotton blends and silk blends. Okay, so if you can recommend a good pattern for a bag, yes, please let me know, because this is going to become a bag for sure. I can also think of crochet. Why not? I like crochet bags, so maybe I will, after all, try and crochet a bag for myself, and that's something that I can do without a pattern. So why not? And the last thing, sorry about the noise. The last thing I bought is an undyed alpaca yarn. I wanted to buy an undyed yarn for a long time, and I didn't think of finding it in Japan, but I did. The brand is Sonomono, and it says colored wool, when in fact it is not colored. Now it means that the wool it's the color of the wool, and it has this little cute, obviously it has the kawaii sheep and alpaca. So I bought 4 colors. These ones, and obviously they're all neutrals because they are undyed, and they are rather thick. How do I show it? Can you see it? Yeah, they're rather chunky, not super chunky. Again, this is a 25-gram ball, and it contains, it doesn't even say, but I'm sure it does say somewhere, because I have tried to calculate how much I would need. Oh yes, it does say, except I couldn't see it with my glasses on, because I got to that age, 125 meters. So I think I have bought enough to make a sweater for myself, and I'm looking forward to using it, trying it out, see what I can make with it. Okay, that was it for today, and as anticipated, it was quite a lot. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you were able to knit on something while watching this. Let me know what you're knitting on if you want to, and remember to comment or send me a DM on Instagram if you want to receive the code to download my Shawlette pattern for free. I will see you next time, hopefully quite soon. Goodbye.